in my garage here. My GoPro overheated. You guys gotta work on that GoPro. Your Hero 10 overheats way too easily. Anyway, got the yak up on some horses. Let's see if we could start to get this thing ready to fish out of. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is actually strip the yak of everything I need to strip it of and then clean it off real good so I can install this deck pad kit. I think this will help with the heat in the Arizona summers. That sun is beating on that plastic, makes it really hot. Also make the boat more quiet for fishing. I moved it off the horses. I realized I gotta apply a little bit of pressure to the boat. Didn't want it to fall off while I did that. Applying this EVA foam padding here. I'm supposed to lie it out and make sure all the pieces are there. Just plugging away. So far so good. Well, just got done sweating my butt off, but I got all the deck padding installed. Wasn't that difficult. Just vacuumed everything out, wiped it down with a clean rag, hit it with some denatured alcohol, and pretty much just followed the pattern. Really happy with the way it came out. Looks sick and it's gonna be much more comfortable. All right, so it's the next day and I put it back on the trailer on a flat surface last night. But today I put it back up on the horses and I've got the Burley Pro bow protector installed, silicone. But I adjusted my trailer to the height so it could just rest right there and dry. Now I'm gonna reinstall the bungee system. I took it off so I could install the deck mats. Put it back on the trailer. So the Burley Pro bow mount is, I don't know, a little too wide for the bow. So I rigged up a little temporary pinch vise at the front there, squeezing it together. It's a day or two later, been making some progress on the boat. Got the Burley Pro installed, it's all cured. Waiting for a few parts to come, but in the meantime I've been throwing some stickers on there. Got Mudhole, West Coast Championship. You know, I got the AZ Kayak Anglers, a few other random stickers on there. Waiting on the final pieces to complete the kayak rigging. I've been working on the trailer itself, and so I relocated my spare for the trailer. I actually put a bracket on there, bolted it to the frame, so that's much more sturdy rather than it being ratchet strapped to the front here on a piece of wood. That was lame. The other thing I've done is I added a D-loop here because even with the straps on, the kayak still can lift up a little bit. Make one little strap right here just to keep it down. And then I also have built a pressurized shower. I already had this, but the way I had it mounted to the trailer was unsubstantial. So I built these wooden brackets bolted to the trailer. They're super sturdy. It's not going anywhere. Using these cam buckle straps. I might cut the excess off. Not sure. Getting ready for the national championship. Things are coming along. So my wife, her boat is now fully rigged out and tournament ready. We got all the accoutrements from my old Vibe that were necessary without any of the BS extras that aren't needed. Final pieces for mounting everything arrived. Got the Tim Percy mounting plate from Dugout Bait and Tackle. Also got the FPV power distribution hub. Waiting on one little pigtail to adapt to the male end there for the power. Getting it all spaced out. Deciding where I'm gonna put everything on the board. Drill some holes and get it installed. Alright, there she is. Mounted up, the holes to run the cables. Thought about it for a bit. Had to sit in front of the boat and contemplate. Just ready to go. Out here in the garage, getting things worked out. Got the plate in there, so what I ended up having to do, actually, to make sure that the bin fit in here nice and flush, was I mounted the active target box on the other side of the plate. So it actually fits very nicely in there. I also devised a little bungee strap to keep everything in, and it's super solid, not going anywhere. The next step would be to figure out how I'm going to run the active target cable. Pretty sure I'm going to go into the rod tube here. Well, this is exciting. I have the active target cable coming through the rod sleeve there, up to the pole. My bin fits in here nice and flush. Cable just sits here at the bottom. It slides in right nicely back there. No pinch, perfect little bend right to the port. Easy to access, so I could take this on or off as I please for travel and storage or days I don't feel like using it. Shallow fishing. Alright, well, after a couple weeks of waiting for parts and working hard on the boat, I'm standing in front of my fully rigged 2022 PA 14360. So I'm just going to give you a quick bow to stern walkthrough on how I have it set up for me to fish. Of course, you could set your boat up however you like. Maybe you find some inspiration from the way that I've done it. Anyway, we'll give a quick walkthrough and then I'll give a little short walkthrough of how I have it wired for the electronics, and that'll be it. So starting at the bow, I did install the Burley Pro bow protector. I want to say it's made out of Kydex, very strong. I can tell that it's going to be excellent protection for the front there. I did transfer over my dog leash that I use as a bow line from my shearwater onto the Hobie here. I did upgrade to the Ego S2 slider net. I have it leashed right here. So this is basically what I came up with for my forward-facing sonar when I'm on my way from spot to spot per se. I'm gonna have it right here in the rod holders, and then I'll be able to simply unleash it and put it into the mount. I did order this arm and this mount from Dugout Bait and Tackle. So here's the 360. I'm gonna keep my catch board right here. I did order a new RAM mount for my camera with the GoPro. Currently using it to film this video. And I wired up a little battery, 5 amp hour, to keep that going to avoid the overheating, so it's hardwired. I have the Boondocks cart, and it's very sturdy. I have my Yak Attack light pole stuck into the cup holder. I'm gonna tie it off right there. I stole my clips from my shearwater to put onto the bungees here, and the bungees in the Hobie are much stronger. So my crate is in there. You can see the deck padding here. Got the necessary stickers. Doesn't drill lures. Gotta show my patriotism for my country. This is the universal Hobie mounting plate. I put 2 Yak Attack single tracks on there. This is going to be an alternate camera mount and alternate flagpole mount. More stickers. Got the other half of the paddle. Picked up a new cooler. Got the cup holder. This is the 2 tackle bins that come out of the middle hatch. Use 2 straps to mount it right here. And this is where I'm going to keep my terminal tackle easily within reach. The same bungee that came with it to have it pivot inside the drawer, I'm going to use that to keep them in, and it works very well. Got some soft plastics under the seat there. Picked up the new Rapala pliers with cutters, best ones I've ever had. Got my Lowrance Elite FS9 screen with the RAM mount here. Burley Pro visor, got it wired here into the through hole mounts there. Put the Yak Attack paddle holder right here. I like to use my paddle when I'm standing up to readjust, and so I'll have it right here easily within reach. It stays very nicely. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna keep it simple. I found that for me personally, a simple setup is working the best. Now I'll go over briefly how I have my boat wired up for the electronics. I have a 50 amp hour lithium battery that I already had. I already had a 30 amp fuse on there. And so I have that wired up 2 ways. This is the connector that goes straight to an FPV distribution hub. So I have the switch for that right here. And then this, the SAE port for charging the battery. So I could easily remove this battery simply by sliding it forward. I did build a little rubber bucket for it to sit in, so in case there's any water in the bow, it'll be protected. But I could slide this battery in and out. I have foam wedged in under both sides, and I can keep it in the boat to charge it, or I can take it out to charge it by simply disconnecting this right here. We're moving forward to the bow. This is where I have everything wired up. That power cable comes through here and connects to the FPV power unit, and instead of getting the standard pigtail, I actually got the switched pigtail, so I could basically switch my battery on and off without having to unplug it, because this will actually do parasitic drain on your battery if it's still connected to it. So I don't have to unplug my battery to avoid that. I just hit this little switch. So I do have the Elite FS9 plugged into the always on connection because there's a power button on the screen itself. On the A bank, which is switched with the remote, is for the forward-facing sonar. The way I have it mounted here is I used a bungee and a deck hook. The bungee's just around the pole, and I actually have a little piece of foam velcroed at the bottom to give it some stability to hold it in the right position. And I have my active target box mounted on the back side, and it actually fits in here perfectly with no pinch. These wires get to run right here. Nice and organized. Very easy to take on and off from the boat. I did this like this, so if I needed to get into anything in there, I don't have to unscrew anything. Just wanted to share that with you guys. I did take a lot of this inspiration from other videos out there in the YouTube world, but just wanted to share how I did it, and maybe you can find some inspiration on yours. Really look forward to fishing this boat. I really hope all this equipment and technology puts an edge to my game. I personally feel like it's going to. I fished the boat one time so far, and right away, I'm gonna say it's worth every penny. All right, thanks for tuning in. Catch you on the water.